Hello, my beautiful soul sparklers. My name is Darcy Legg, and today I would like to tell you about 7 core beliefs that shamans have. Before we get started, my name is Darcy Legg, where my focus goes healing energy flows. So I am an energy healer and an intuitive life coach. So glad to have you here. So, one of the core beliefs that shamanism has is that spirits play an important role in individual lives and in society. So, yes, we believe in spirits, and they do play an important role in our lives. And if you have any questions about anything that I'm covering, put it up in the chat, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions. So, the second belief that shamans have, and this is just a general for most shamanisms because shamanism is so diverse and it's all over the world. The second common belief that they have is that shamans can communicate with the spirit world. So not only do we believe in them, we believe that we could communicate with them. Do you communicate with spirit? I didn't, or I didn't think I did until I started years ago. I started meditating, and all of a sudden I heard spirits. I think most people communicate with spirit, they don't realize it. I think prayer is a form of communicating with spirit. So, number 3 was spirits can be benevolent or malevolent. So, when I started working with shamanism, this one kind of I don't even know how to say it, made me kind of step a bit back a little bit and kind of freaked me out, to be honest with you. I don't like to see it this way. I like to see spirits as, are they being helpful or are they being hurtful? I don't like to see them as being, light or dark, good or bad, because that's, to me, they're just like humans, they're spirits. So, number 4, shamans can treat sicknesses caused by spirits. This was a new one to me. I had no idea that spirits could cause sickness. It's not funny, but for example, I treated a girl where she had a spirit attachment and it was attached in her hip. And we just removed that spirit attachment. It took a few minutes to do. When I do it in my energy healing, I use a huge crystal and I have that spirit go into the crystal. And then this person felt much better after that spirit attachment was removed. So, number 5, shamans go into a trance and vision quest. So, they do this different ways. And I call it a journey, is what I call it, a journey. Some shamans will use a drum or a rattle. Some will use their voice for music to go into a trance. And some of them I've even seen on video, they will dance to go into a trance. So I pretty much use it like meditation. I go on a journey and I journey to go into a trance or vision quest. I call it journeying. And the purpose of it a lot of times is to get information. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's the reason I go, is to gather information, usually for healing or to solve some type of problem. So that was number 5, going into trance or vision quest. Number 6 is shamans evoke spirit images as spirit guides and message bearers. Yep, this one's true. This one happened to me before I even knew what shamanism was. I was, this is almost 10 years ago now. I went to this lady for energy healing, and she took me on a journey, and I met my spirit animal, which is a big bear, big brown bear. She's huge. And when I met her, she showed up by my side when I was journeying, which I didn't know it was journeying then. This lady just told me to go to a field. Imagine in my mind, I'm going to a field. So I close my eyes and I do that. And she's drumming the whole time I'm doing it, which I had no idea this was journeying, but now I know. And so I went into the field, and then my spirit animal showed up on my side, and she told me her name was Sheila. And for some reason, that cracked us up so bad. So Sheila comes and helps me out. She's always there with me. And I have, during my practice, I have other animals. They each have their own gifts, their own strengths, their own purposes, the things that they do that work best for them. Sort of like humans have their own gifts and their own strengths and their own practices and things that they do that are really good for them. So that's number 6. Number 7 is shamans perform different things like divination. And divination is using a pendulum. I have videos on that if you're curious on how to do that. They also do scry. Now this was a new one to me. I've seen this word before, but I wasn't sure what it was. I had to Google it. And scry is seeing messages or visions. So this does happen. If it's pleasant, it's okay. If I see things that aren't pleasant and I'm not sure what it means, it's kind of disturbing to me sometimes. So next is foretelling future events. And this is part of the number 7. So some shamans will tell future events. Now, there's a disclaimer about this. Just because somebody sees a future event doesn't mean it's set in stone. Now, I believe that I could see something that's going to happen in the future, and then I could decide whether or not I want that event to happen or not. Now, I could decide, no, I don't want to do whatever I see, and I could decide not to show up, and that would change the future event. So don't think that because somebody tells you something that you don't have the power to do what you want in your life just because they see a particular timeline. You are in control of your life. So that's another reason why people who foretell the future, like psychics, are not 100% accurate, because we do have the power to change our minds and decide something different. They're just seeing what a possibility is in the future. So those are the 7 beliefs of shamanism. So if you could tell the future, leave it in the description box down below and let me know about it. I'm curious about telling the future and how you do it. How does it work for you? Are you able to, before I used to see dreams, and that's how I could tell the future, was I would have dreams that would come true. Have you ever had a dream that came true? I would love to hear about it. So those were the 7 different beliefs. They were, I'm going to go over them again. Put my glasses. They were spirits play important roles in individual lives in human society. Number 2 was shamans communicate with spirits, the spirit world, and then they know that spirits could either be benevolent or malevolent, which I say spirits could either be helpful or hurtful. And then spirits cause, number 4, spirits can cause sickness, which shamans can treat that. It's an easy process. So shamans do go into a vision, a trance, or vision quest is what we call it. I call it journeying. And then they also evoke animal images as spirit guides and message bearers. And the last one is they perform something called divination, scry, or fortune telling future events. So those are overall shamanic beliefs. Now, just because I tell you that doesn't mean every shaman does it. But in general, that's what they do. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to visit my website, I'll go ahead and leave my website in the chat box, and I'll leave it down below. It's down below also in the description. It's Darcy's Healing Touch. And keep on sparkling.